Canelo, give him a call.
I've spoken to Golden Boy.
How was that?
Oh no, it was great. Oscar, Eric, all those guys. They have a long history. Going back 20 years with them. On as friends. Not the business side, as friends. And that's never going to change. So happy to talk to them, and I felt like they were happy to talk to me. But having said that, look, they're going to explore their options. I understand. And make their decision. The important part for us was that we reach out and express very aggressively our interest, which we do have. We had a great run with him. Did some important fights, and I think contributed a lot to the early part of his U.S. career. And we'd love to have the opportunity to sort of finish it off with him too.
It was a big coup for you to get Floyd to switch from HBO to Showtime. How big of a thing is it to make sure you guys get Canelo and no one else does?
All their talent. I mean, there's some great talent that is now looking for a home. Canelo, Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol.
That's the other question. Did you reach out to Golovkin too? But are those the two goals you have? You have to have those guys.
Yeah, those guys too. But there's interesting. Bivol's got some interesting fights. There are plenty. Some of the smaller guys have had some really entertaining fights. So I think the reality is, whenever you see a development like this, I think you look at all the assets and say, okay, look, there's some really good fighters, some really good fights. And as importantly, how do they mix with what we already have? Because, getting one guy in a division that you don't have other guys, doesn't work for the fighter or for the network. But if you're adding someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, where we have guys at 54 who can go to 60 or guys at 60, that makes sense for them, makes sense for us. So I think those are pieces that fit right in. Bivol, can fit right in with some things that we've been doing. Badu Jack, who's here, and Stevenson, who will be featured on the network fairly soon. So as importantly is, not just is it a valuable fighter, is a valuable asset, but how does it fit in with what we have going on already?